All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is 7 o'clock straight up, and Verizon said, let's go, 7 o'clock. Look, I don't want to hear about the complaints about it was 125 million degrees all summer, and now you're cold. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to hear it. Oh, it was hot, I'm hot. Now I'm cold. Come on. Can't make everybody. There's a bunch of Jews. Can't make anybody happy. Yes, I turned it up. I don't know why it's so cold in here. We must have had an awful day, and we wanted to turn it, get
In
it
other
cool,
words,
but
you
we forgot
agree with us. It is very cold.
It's very cold. I can feel it. I'm going to turn into like a... You know what? I'll take the cold. We're good. So let's sing, and if we sing, we'll create hot air.
That's true.
If I talk, we'll make hot air.
We are on page 10 if you would like to see the words and join us in song. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. La 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov. Lai 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 lai.
Okay, let's bring up... It wasn't on?
No.
I adjusted it 3 times. It's helpful for those at home that we turn on the microphone. I turn on the guitar mic.
Lower it.
All right, so we'll start from the beginning. Good evening, welcome. We're going to try that again. I'm just kidding. Nomi, this is you. Nomi's going to read. You know what? Stand right here. I'll go light the candles for you. You know what? Let's come over here. This way is just easier for you. I'll go light. You read this right here. Talk right in the mic. Okay.
As these Shabbat candles give light to behold them, so may we, by our own lives, give light to all behold us. As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who has kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who follows us with misvote, commanding us to kindle light of Shabbat.
Amen. Good job. Thank you so much. So who do you think is going to be first to say it's getting warm in here? I can already feel it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just sensitive, but it's just saying. Where are we, Cantor? Page 13?
We are.
I love page 13. Comes right after page 12. Shiru Ladun and before 14. Yes.
בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. איי איי איי, אליי 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 אליי
We'll keep Kabbalat Shabbat, getting into the mood of Shabbat, welcoming Shabbat. We'll flip to page 24, which is our words of Shalom Aleichem.
שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שלום עליכם מלאכי השרת, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום מלאכי השלום, מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברוכו ניל שלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא צאתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא צאתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים קדוש ברוך הוא צאתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון ממלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Our Lechado D, we just flip back a couple pages. Lechado D, we're going to sing, and on the final verse, verse 9, we're going to rise. We're going to go verse 1, 2, 5, and then 9.
Flipping pages to page 20.
Lechado D is on page 20 and 21. We're going to sing verses 1, 2, 5.
Lechado di likra kala penei Shabbat mekabela Lechado di likra kala penei Shabbat mekabela Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתהילה לאחדו לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לאחדו לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם מזוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לאחדו לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לאחדו לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי בא אורך קומי אורי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה לאחדו לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לאחדו לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובצוהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה לאחדו לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לאחדו לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה.
Well, since you're up, why not find someone around you, in front of you, across the aisle, wish them Shabbat Shalom, introduce yourself, say hello, make a friend. All right, pause. Pick up the conversation at Oneg. Say, this will be a great conversation to continue at Oneg. Let's talk about this later. Page 28. It's too much fun here, too much fun.
Lie, la, lie, 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 lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 la, lie, 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 lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 la, lie, 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 lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 lie. ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Please be seated. Let's turn to page 30. Oh, I lied. Let's turn to page 31, but it's the same page spread, so you're okay. Page 31 on the left at the top. Let's pray together. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Next page.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אתה, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך, לעולם, לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו, ואורך ימינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
We rise on the next page, page 34, as we draw attention to the words of the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. We continue together via Hafta, page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohim, Emet. Sing the song of men and women, page 40-41, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace, Micha Mocha, page 40.
כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, אוסף אלה. מלכותך ובניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, מלכותך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, ידה די 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 די, ידה די די די, ידה די 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 די, ידה די די די, ידה די 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 די, ידה די די די, די 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 די.
On the next page, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporeh sukat shalom aleinu, va'al kol amo Yisrael, va'al Yerushalayim. Well, it's getting kind of quiet and slow. Should we? Yep, it's like the roller coaster, like tick, 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 and we're at the top. Vishamru, page 44. This was a special request from Roger and Barbara because they've been gone most of the summer, and they wanted to. You missed this, right? Yeah. Okay. So we'll just follow Roger and Barbara. They'll show us what to do.
Page 44. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ונפש, שבת ונפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדותם ברית עולם.
And for those that didn't participate, you know who you are. We will talk on September 25th. That's Yom Kippur. Page 46, please rise.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ואלוהי לאה. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום, יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated as we flip to page 59. Page 59. At the top, we offer this prayer together. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul or light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, atov shimcha ucha na'eh lehodot. As we turn the page to Shalom Rav, we think about all the things that we're grateful for, and we direct that gratitude as we reflect in our own lives the things that we have and appreciate. Singing of Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata
We add a prayer called the Misha Berach on page 253. It is a prayer of thinking of those in our lives, whether it's ourselves, our family, our friends, our community, that are in need of a refuah shlema, a prayer of healing and wholeness. Brokenness may look physical or mental, emotional, spiritual, all kinds of brokenness in the world and in our lives. We know that their healing is, miracles aren't exactly that work that way, but we ask, therefore, instead for wholeness, the ability to come to terms, perhaps, with what's happening, and to be in strength with God. So, page 253, we turn, and I look around the room, and I invite anyone who wishes to share a name out loud, or personally, if you want to keep it in your heart, but this is the time that we think about them. So feel free to share whenever. We gather all names and everyone that we're thinking of in our hearts, or at home, online, as we sing the Misha Berach, our prayer of healing and wholeness.
מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
So a couple of disclaimers before I begin. One, when I was thinking about what I wanted to share tonight, I did not know that my daughter wanted to come. Bailey, I didn't know your kids were coming, so this might be a little heady for the kids. Rebecca, so I apologize. It'll be a little, I'm just saying it's not. Number two is that it's 2 weeks from tonight is Rosh Hashanah. So 2 weeks from tonight. So I've been like writing and Shabbat came fast, and I'm like, I need a lifeline. I need to call a friend. So these are not my words. I'm just going to own it right now and say, I needed, with your permission, I'm going to share some remarkable words that I read this morning from my dear friend and colleague, Rabbi Joshua Weinberg. I don't know if you get his weekly emails that go out on Friday mornings, but when I saw it and I read it, I was like, bam, I'm out. I'm bailed. Rabbi Weinberg, colleague, friend of mine. For those who remember, I was in New York in June or May, whenever it was. Josh and I got drinks or some bar at like the 900th floor of this building, and we were overlooking this. Anyway, it was awesome. So Josh is the vice president of the URJ in charge of Israel and Reform Zionism. He's also the executive director of ARTZA, of the Association of Reform Zionists of America. And so this is what he pointed out to us this week that I felt it was worth sharing. Each of us has a where were you when moment. For my parents' generation, maybe a few of you, many will vividly remember the assassination of JFK in '63, the assassination of Dr. King in '68, the historic moon landing in '69, and the list could go on. But for me, Josh speaking, and me, in our generation, September 13th, 2 weeks, 1993, the historic handshake on the White House lawn with President Clinton, Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, and Chairman Yasser Arafat is seared in my memory as a formative moment of hope, of nostalgia, and then disappointment, watching during our formative years the prospects grow and then fail. But it was August 30th, 1933, 30 years ago from Wednesday, that the government of Israel, after lengthy discussion and great hesitation, ended up approving the draft of the principles known as the Oslo Accords with the Palestinians. On Tuesday, of this past week, the State Archives of Israel released the minutes of that meeting, some of which still remain censored, but really, really interesting. I can already, by the way, as I'm reading this, I can hear the biopic or the movie as it unfolds. It's that dramatic. So these are not made up. These are the minutes of the meeting from 30 years ago, this week, when they were discussing approving the Oslo Accords. Quote, "I want to start by saying this is not an easy agreement," Prime Minister Rabin said as the government meeting opened. "Obviously, had we negotiated with ourselves, I'm sure the wording would have been better. The text also includes unpleasant wording. I'm couching my words cautiously," he added. However, he emphasized we must look much more comprehensively at all the different components. What's interesting is that the minutes of the meeting reveal what many who followed closely probably already knew: a fascinating and telling discussion and debate among the cabinet ministers surrounding the opportunities that the Oslo Accords presented and the risks of not pursuing them. Foreign Affairs Minister at the time, Shimon Peres, warned of the failed outcome when he said, quote, "I must say it's possible that the entire deal with the PLO will fall apart, and there will be a Hamas-like Iran here," referring to the West Bank. "We also have to be careful. There's no certainty it will last through all the revolts, all the begging, all the pressure, and everything else. I say this in a very serious matter. I simply don't see an alternative in the Arab street." I don't know about you, but reading through this released meeting protocol was like watching the movie Titanic. We now know in hindsight that the ship was going to sink and that Prime Minister Rabin would pay with his life. And nonetheless, we are riveted as we read these notes. I find myself fondly wishing for success of the impending agreement, deeply believing that we were entering into an era of peace. 30 years have been both an eternity and a blip on the historic timeline. Because in the 30 years since that meeting, we have learned two truths. The left has been vindicated in arguing that keeping one's proverbial boot on the neck of another will only lead to violent outcomes. In short, we cannot continue to maintain military rule over another people and maintain an occupation, now 56 years, and think that the status quo will not turn into a violent uprising. And yet, on the other hand, we've also learned that the right is not wrong in saying that we were mistaken to believe that we could sign a Western-style peace agreement with the Palestinians and that they, being the Palestinians, would recognize Israel as the nation-state of the Jewish people and sheath their swords, or more accurately, their suicide bombs, the rockets, the guns, the knives, and proclaim an end to the conflict. So both are correct. But Israeli society has shifted in the 3 decades since this historic agreement. Many of us do not realize the depth of the trauma in Israeli society stemming from the post-Oslo years of violence during the Second Intifada of 2000 to 2005. The threat of random murder on Israeli streets, buses, supermarkets, and Pesach Seders led to a great disillusionment of the left and eventually paved the way for what we're seeing today, the most extreme right-wing government in Israel's history. And over the course of those last 3 decades, there were attempts to revive the negotiations, One took place in the weeks and months after the failed Camp David talks in 2000. There was a serious attempt at reaching an agreement between then Prime Minister Ehud Olmert and the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas in 2008, 2009. If you remember a blip on the radar, there was an attempt by John Kerry in 2013, 2014. But since then, Israel has only maintained close security coordination with the PA. There's really been no communication for the last 10 years. Except, to be fully transparent, there was a meeting between Benny Gantz, the then defense minister, did go to meet with Abbas last summer when Biden came to town, but they were only coordinating the security of Biden moving from Israel to the West Bank. That was the first time in 10 years, and they've spoken. Which leads us to share, if you did not read in the news, that a new bridge, a new attempt, a historic attempt to bridge this gap took place this week when a member of the Knesset, Rabbi Gilad Kariv of the Labor Party, notably the only Reform rabbi only member of the Knesset who's a Reform rabbi, who went to Ramallah. He traveled into Ramallah as a member of the Knesset, having only the Palestinian Authority as his security. He said, "Yesterday I visited Ramallah for a meeting with the various parties in the Palestinian Authority, organized by the Geneva Initiative and the Palestinian Peace Coalition. It is clear to all of us that the situation in the territories and our relationship with the Palestinian Authority is difficult and it is complex. But there is one simple truth that we must insist on affirming, that the weakening of the Palestinian Authority is a gift for Hamas and a gift for jihad. Whoever does not sustain continuous political discourse with the leadership of the Palestinian Authority will end up negotiating with Islamic terrorist organizations and strengthening. This is no longer a theory, this is a fact," he said. So while we, as members of the Reform movement, along with Israelis and others, fight the judicial overhaul and are fully committed to continuing the struggle, we must remember that the government of Netanyahu and the far right is leading another revolution that poses a significant threat to the future of the State of Israel and the Zionist enterprise, the de facto annexation revolution. This revolution intensifies the bloody conflict between Israelis and Palestinians, harms critical security coordination, weakens the PA, and poses real obstacles to any future progress to renew political negotiations and promote a solution to the conflict. In the face of this current government in Israel, these messianic and nationalist conduct of the government, a clear political and security vision must be presented of striving for separation between us and the Palestinians, the renewal of the political negotiations, and keeping the two-state solution on the table as the only practical solution to the conflict. Our role as elected officials is to reiterate that conflicts do not govern. Either we strive to solve them, even if the road is bumpy and difficult, or they manage us and we become enslaved to them. As we've seen in the last political decade, sitting on the fence and ignoring the conflict and the situation in the territories only puts wind in the sails of those who wish us forever to live by our swords. That was a long quote from a member of the Knesset who was in Ramallah Wednesday. Friends, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but these create more questions than answers. Right? In a vision of a Jewish state living side by side with a Palestinian state, is it completely delusional at this point, or just a matter of negotiations and a realization that there's no better alternative? Can the Palestinians ever recognize Israel as a Jewish nation state and not harbor hopes of one day seeing its destruction? Can Israel come to the painful conclusion that it must prevent annexation of the West Bank, also known by its biblical names Samaria and Judea, in order to prevent what Shimon Peres warned would happen 30 years ago? What role do we now see the Saudis and the other Gulf states play in bringing the Palestinians to the negotiation table to effect two states for two peoples resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? And those are just 4 questions. These are difficult and they're challenging. And we cannot just ignore. We can't just continue to ignore them. And sadly, I don't have answers. But I urge us to stay committed, to stay engaged, to continue to support Israel even if you don't like the government. Because that's how we fight for a Jewish and democratic state, is to continue to stay informed, to continue to support those organizations that can, that are on the front lines, that are doing wonderful things, and to continue to discuss. This is a historic week. At the same time of these notes being revealed, at the same time that the member of Knesset goes into Ramallah. Some pretty impressive, incredible things happening. I would be remiss, of course, if I did not segue to the reminder for those that may have forgotten or hadn't yet, or were on the fence, that we are traveling to Israel next summer, next June or late May. We leave in late May, but it's essentially next June. And that now is the time to start planning for that trip. So if you have not already gone, now is a good time to plan for it. It's the right time to go. Next Friday night is our Slichot service / 60-plus dinner. Is that what they're calling it? The 60-plus dinner? So I think today was the deadline, but I see if you email Erica today, the list would still be in her inbox by the time she got back into the office. There'll be a lot of people here next Friday night for this. It'll be very exciting. What was that? There is none? There is or isn't? Oh, yeah. We're celebrating Hannah's 30th anniversary? 30th, I think. 30th anniversary of when she became a bat mitzvah. So she'll be reading Torah for us next week. Slichot is the Shabbat before the High Holy Days, before Rosh Hashanah. So that is the Shabbat that we will, in the midst of that evening, throughout the evening, be transferring our Torahs from the regular to the white as we prepare to move into High Holy Day mode. So, oh my gosh, that's next week. Gosh. If you, is there anybody who didn't get their tickets in the mail? They ever got their packets? Yay, Scottsdale Mail, it worked. All right, cool. We're going to continue our service. Oh, no, I forgot. We welcome people and we say, welcome. Carol and Jeffrey, who did you bring tonight? Hi, guys. Welcome. And who's in the back? Welcome. It's very exciting. Everybody else is all right. So make sure that you go and everyone welcome. Say hello to each other and say hello to our new friends. And as we move to the social hall in a moment, in a few moments for Oneg. For you guys, first round of cookies are on me. Just put it on my tab. I got you. Avery and Parker, you are in charge of opening the ark right now. Ryan and Nomi, why don't you help too? Ryan, Nomi, go. Parker Avery, go. Everyone, please rise, page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות אדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts now turn to loved ones that we may have lost in recent days, or those that we lost at this season in years past, observing a yard site. If there is someone that you're thinking of and you wish to share their name out loud, we invite you to do so at this time. On page 294, we gather names and memories as we sanctify and thank God. Yid Gadal v'Yid Kadash Shemei Rabbah Be'alma Divrach Yotev Lamich Machutei B'chayechon Uv'yomechon Uv'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala Uv'izman Kari V'imru Amen. Ehei Shmei Rabbah Mivorach Le'olam Amel Maya V'yit barach, v'yit shabach, v'yit pa'ar, v'yit ramam, v'yit naseh, v'yit hadar, v'yit haleh, v'yit halal, shemei kudesha brechu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'akol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their names and memories continue to be for a blessing as we say amen. Let's flip page 5.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
You're not a bat mitzvah yet. No, not yet.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. Yeah, that's all. All right. This is more your cup of tea. Come here. Come. If you're going to come, I'm putting you to work. Come on. This way you won't ask to come back. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Motzi, what page? I don't know what it is. We just learned it. Okay, go.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המוציא לחם מן הארץ בתיאבון.
Closing song.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom and good night.